Welcome. This is In the Know, our Tuesday segment where we talk about what is going on in the world around us, as well as what is happening right here in our own community. We're just going to jump right in because there is a lot happening in our community right now. The Allen County Jail, the disrespect, the blatant disrespect to the residents of the southeast side of Fort Wayne. According to federal documents, a new jail will likely be built in the area of Adams Center and Paulding Roads in the southeast part of Fort Wayne. County officials have determined that this project would cost an estimated $350 million. Construction is planned to start around April of 2024. With that being said, we're going to discuss that amongst ourselves, and we invite you to comment your opinions. I know there's a lot of opinions on this, so I'm going to get right to it with question number one. Allen County Commissioners, Mr. Beck and Mr. Peters, said at a legislative meeting that the order from the federal judge actually forced them to choose this as the site. But they will continue to vet other sites, is what was said. If they determine that another site meets the specific criteria, for instance, it had to be a certain amount of acres. There was a list of criteria, actually quite a small list. Then they will petition the judge for a change. So the question is, do we see that petition for a change coming? And also, is it a coincidence that it was also just announced that the former Irene Byron site on Lima Road, which that's where a lot of people were saying that, the jail could have been, is now ready to be sold after demolition?
What?
Oh, man. Go ahead, Doc.
No, I was just going to say what you just said to me, that's surprising because that seemed like something that just kind of came to the surface like right after this announcement.
Yeah, fell right into place.
Well, actually,
And I think that's intentional. So obviously it's all been going on for a period of time.
We are just now finding out about it.
Right.
Yes.
Which is unfortunate.
It is.
And when you say forced to make the decision, I know they have been talking about the changes in the jail system and what have you. And before I go any further, I want to make sure that we're still in advocate position for those who are incarcerated, for their rehabilitation and treating them humanely.
Yes.
However, for it to go on the southeast side, just like at the drop of a dime, we have to start speaking up. The southeast residents, if you're a former resident of the southeast side of Fort Wayne, please start speaking up and voicing your concerns because it is within proximity of schoolyards. And I can go on, but I'm going to let everybody else speak.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah,
I mean, didn't
absolutely.
they just the day before decided to have the development on that side, on the southeast side as well?
Yes.
So
Yes. It was like that Wednesday or Thursday.
They announced it that Thursday. So you announced that Thursday, then turn around, smack the southeast side in the face, and say we want to place the jail over here as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry to interrupt again because we've been talking for a long time to have improvement and development on the southeast side of Fort Wayne. We have enough liquor stores. We have enough fast food joints.
Gas
We have
stations.
enough gas stations.
Mhm.
We don't have enough quality positive influences on the southeast side of Fort Wayne. And for them to, again, smack us in the face with this, saying that, or assuming that that's going to be good enough for us, it speaks volumes
Yes.
for what this city is leading us into.
Yeah.
Right?
You're
Yeah.
right.
And as it's been said, so we need hospitals more
Yes.
so toward
Right.
that direction.
Yes.
Even movie theaters when we start talking about entertainment. But then, so we're asking for all of these things. It's as if we created a list of all the things we want, but we got the thing we did not want.
Right.
They
Right.
Yeah.
want us to.
The
Right.
last thing on the list.
And we
Right.
we were talking about this a little bit before the show. There are a lot of organizations really in the last couple of years who have came forward, who have came together on the southeast side of town to do better, to try to clean areas up, to try to build gardens and get rid of the food desert. So you have a whole community that is coming together to do good, to do positive. So saying that it is a slap in the face, and not just that, but it's exploiting the efforts that the community and organizations have put forth. Because the hospitals, the buildings, the businesses, they're not going to want to come here now with this jail. I mean, that's just the way it is with all communities. People aren't going to want to buy their home by the jail. They don't want to send their kids to school by the jail. So that brings me to my next question. Is the placement of the jail intentional? And if so, what are those intentions?
It's totally intentional. I'm going to give you reasons why it's intentional. The first one, you concluded with your first question. The Irene Byron Center housed the work release for decades. Never had a problem. They housed it out there. That's the same amount of acreage, 70 acres out there. They're going to tear that down and sell it. If you already own the property, you already utilized that property for a facility that held inmates at one point in time. Why is it not good enough now? Why is it on the southeast side of town? And I like how they worded it. If y'all pay attention, they never said the southeast side of Fort Wayne. They
right.
always said the southeast side
Yes.
of Allen County.
Yes.
Never put Fort Wayne in there. So they were trying to word it like we weren't geographically, and we didn't know our geography. But let me tell you this. This is why I say it's intentional. Allen County is made up of 660 square miles. The cities in Allen County is Fort Wayne, New Haven, Woodburn. Towns are Grable, Huntertown, Leo Cedarville, Monroeville, Harlan, Hoagland, Hudson-Kessel, Yoder, and Poe. Now, this is called the Allen County Jail, not the Fort Wayne City Jail. Allen County spreads 660 square miles. Why can't it be in any of those other places? They intentionally put it there. Look at what's all on the south side of town. They put in an old Feuerhoff building, and I'm telling my age because people are not going to know where that is. That's on Pontiac.
No Foundry.
Yeah, the old foundry on Pontiac. It's a recycle place, garbage. What else is on Anno Center Road? The landfill is right there, right next to where they're trying to build the jail. Why do we get all the garbage on the southeast side of town?
Exactly.
And we, like you said, Doc B, and I'm going to finish and let you have it. We don't have the simple amenity of a 24-hour emergency room or medical facility.
The proper
but you
level.
can give us a jail? Go ahead, E.
Well, I'm gonna have to, on one point, I'm gonna have to disagree with you as far as the old foundry. Yes, it is a recyclable, but that place housed, over 200 jobs that people literally can walk to. So let's back up off of that one because that act there is strictly legitimate.
Either way, it's trash.
Either way.
If that's the
I get what you're saying.
hold
I get
on,
what you're saying, but the prison will bring jobs too.
I understand what you said, but listen, that old foundry, then you got OmniSource right in that same vicinity.
Yeah.
Then you got Midwest Piping and Steel. That's all on that same block where the old foundry, the recycle place is at. So let's the jobs as far as that aspect.
Okay.
I can't roll with you on that
But
one
the
because
environment.
because
That's
simple
a plus, but
fact,
there's
because simple fact, people that stays in that area literally can walk if they don't have a car to their jobs, and they are good paying jobs.
Right.
Okay, and that's a positive.
Yes, that's a positive. That's
Okay.
not a negative. That's
But
not a
let's look at the long-term effect of our
Okay,
community.
and that's one thing. And so, you were talking about the other options in these other counties, etc. And so the excuse is, and maybe it's true. So they're saying that they don't have space, so they can't work with the jail here because they don't have enough space to take the inmates or for that to happen. So that's what happened with that.
They
thought.
can find land. It's intimate domain.
So
If
you're
they
talking
want it,
about building on to those other counties. But at first, one of the options, it was an option, but it was if they had enough vacancies. And so once they realized that the other county said, no, we can't do that.
Intimate
That's
domain. They can make it happen.
Yeah.
But didn't
I mean, the Byron,
They can make it
the
happen.
Byron Health Center, where the Byron Health Center at, is, like you said, it was a perfect spot because
Yes.
once again, it already housed them.
Right.
Even though they had just moved the work release place from out there to tear that place down, why not put everything right in one facility?
Keep it there. It's been
I mean, you
going
know what
that
I'm saying?
way.
It's been on that way. It's been there for
I-
years.
I
been there
feel
for years.
The image of the jail and the negativity that comes with it, it wasn't a good look for the Fort Wayne downtown.
No, it's not.
They're building
That's
up.
right.
They're expanding downtown Fort Wayne, west of Fort Wayne, north of Fort Wayne, and that's just not a good look for them. So just dump it on the
Right, 'cause-
southeast side of town. I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel.
You're right.
Right.
It
And-
is.
and-
It's
and
so
we-
true.
You're preaching, girl. You're
we
preaching.
still need to, the community needs to come together, especially the young people who probably aren't listening and need to be speaking up and voicing their concerns with this, because they're doing this and we're not paying attention. Enough of us are not paying attention.
Right.
Right.
Well, speaking of concerns, there was, if you're not familiar, a rally today, and Neutral Voices was actually on site. We did get some footage of a few speakers, Mr. Glenn Hines and Pastor Bell from True Love Baptist Church. Something that stuck out, everyone said wonderful things and along the same lines of, having the same opinions, but Sharon Tucker spoke, and something that she said she was highly disappointed that the commissioner had chosen to build the new jail on the southeast side of town, citing yet another negative for the area. So we talked about what she meant as far as those negatives. Are there any benefits? Are there, if we had to say any benefits of putting it on that side of town, are there any?
No.
Are there
No.
any?
No.
And do you think that they even looked? We talk about, all these other counties, and they could have found 60 or 70 acres out here in Harlan or whatever. Do we really think that they looked
No.
for
Right.
this acreage?
I don't
Exactly.
think they look for it. I don't
Well,
think
see,
they
they-
care. So they trying to say because they already own the property. But what about the people as far as houses, homes that were just built in that
Oh, yeah.
area?
Yeah, and it's nice
that those
homes over there.
Yes. So property value will go down.
Yeah.
Obviously, they won't get what they thought they would.
Right.
And then, just being that close to schools, that's
Yeah.
the part that zoning with the school that I'm really confused about. And so then when we look at this, and I'm sure Sharon Tucker had to feel some type of way as Malcolm back in the day when he said, I've been hoodwinked, right?
Yeah.
Ran amok, bamboozled.
right.
I'm thinking that's the way, and not only her, but several people in the room had to feel.
Well, in the
Today.
quote her, and I'm going to paraphrase the quote or summarize the quote, she said that she felt frustration that she was not included in this conversation.
Right. The
And-
illusion of inclusion.
Right.
You thought you was
but
included, but you weren't.
This is a show where we speak the truth and we tell it how it is. We were in the last election year. We were at a political event, and Sharon Tucker was there. And she did stand up for these
She
same
did.
people.
She
So
did. She
as
had-
you talk
she had
about
faith in
Malcolm,
them.
she
Exactly.
she pulled a Martin on us. I feel like I led my people into a burning house. We
God.
we right there.
Yeah.
So I mean, but
Right to speak.
right to speak. But here's
But
the
not
thing,
to be
and
heard.
we're gonna move on. But the negative side, another negative. We were in a meeting during that same time frame, and Mayor Tom Henry, he had a group from Cincinnati come out and give this how to improve the Southeast side. You know what they told the people in this committee? I mean, in this meeting, the committee, if you paint murals on the side of your buildings, people will begin to feel better about your community.
Oh my God.
And a lot of people fell for it.
That is the
They
God
did
honest
fell-
truth.
Yeah,
They fell
did.
for
A
it.
lot of people did.
Because look around.
Well, I mean, yeah, you
A
look
lot of
around, but
murals.
we paint murals
of murals.
on the side of a building.
Yes.
But like y'all said, we don't have a ready-made close
Yeah, nothing.
No.
or ER close. You know what I'm saying? And I look at the fact that they want to place this jail on the southeast side of town. Now let's think
It's a setup.
It's there you go. It's a setup because guess what? Guess what? They're going to hurry up and just galvanize everybody. Quickly. Oh, we gonna take you right up the street.
And for kids to look at a jail in the distance of their playground,
Yeah.
Right.
come on,
Yeah.
people.
You talking about the school to
This is what you have to look forward to,
Yeah.
look up to, and imagine the ones
Yes.
that maybe have somebody incarcerated.
Right.
down there.
Yep.
That's unfortunate because we need to do better for our kids
Yes.
and for ourselves
Yes.
and the community. I'm sorry, but they're failing.
They are failing. And then we already talked before about the school to prison pipeline.
Yeah.
And it's just
Right there.
Right across the street.
Yeah,
we
make
can
it
just
a little
walk you.
bit-
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It-
more convenient.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you have your what's the officers that be in the school called?
That resource.
Yeah.
The resource officers. So they got resource officers in school, and the kid get in a fight. Guess what? I could just walk you right across the street. I ain't even gotta waste my car, drive the gas to get you.
Right.
I could walk you across the street.
And some of them are probably saying that
Right.
Correct.
to the kids and probably feel that for our kids.
Yeah.
So it just makes me think when we're talking about the school. So, why was it that Paul Harding High School was even closed down and removed, but yet the school was fit for a private school to still occupy the same? That has always confused me because at one point they said the school was ran down. It would take too much money
Well,
to
that's
bring
not
it up.
the
So
reason
what-
why.
But I'm
that
saying
was-
it's really weird. What's the whole story? The reason it's still a school in the first place?
Yeah, the real reason is why they began to close Harding. I think it was around 98, 99. They started saying that Harding's test scores were falling below the state average. That's what they said. Do we know this? No, that's what they told us. So each year, gradually, supposedly their test scores went down and it was dragging down. So that's why they closed it, because it wasn't meeting the, supposedly meeting the state. But then they threw in, well, you know, it's antiquated. If it's antiquated, y'all didn't put any new fixtures in there to open EAU. So the same antiquated building that was
Is
there.
this a school that didn't have windows?
Yes.
Do they have windows?
No,
now?
no. It's the still same
I thought
antiquated
maybe
building.
they added windows.
No, they ain't had no windows. I mean, like we always say, it was already written.
Yeah.
It was
What they wanted to do with that school.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, the test scores weren't that low. It wasn't gradually going down. They already knew, okay, we got to disperse. One of the biggest reasons was,
It was the blackest school in the city.
yes, and
Legitimately.
legitimately, yes, it was.
Yeah. They took the opportunity, and that's kind of what I thought with the jail as well, because all of these issues, when they were talking about the jail being overcrowded or the people treating, you know, the employees treating the inmates a certain way, do you think that's going to change? Because I don't believe that this new jail is going to bring jobs to the community. It's just going to take the people who are already at the jail and move them over here to keep their jobs.
Well,
So you
supposedly,
still have the same issues. And I
Right.
don't know, maybe I've watched too much TV, but
hope not.
when I, you know, I have a 17-year-old daughter, and while she's not a child, I don't think that I would want this to be put by Leo. Reason being, the mental health part of it and wanting more recreation for the inmates involves them going where? Outside. So you've got a fence, yes, but they are outside. And how many times do issues happen at a jail or somebody gets loose? It's, to me, that is an accident waiting to happen, and not even an accident, an opportunity.
Probability.
Well,
Yeah,
let's look at it this way right there. You know, and I get what you said. You putting it on the southeast side of town. What if a couple inmates break out during school hours?
Exactly. That's
you-
exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
let's look at it from that standpoint. You wouldn't want it over there by Leo.
No, absolutely not.
So why would we want it over there by our babies?
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. No one should.
And everybody's probably saying the same thing, but I just wanted to comment on the job perspective of that. When the facility, or with it being downtown, supposedly there's so much money, especially from taxpayers, that go out to mental health facilities.
Right.
So paying for medical treatments for different inmates and different things like that. So supposedly this new location, since they decided to not just upgrade the downtown South Tower, that would have cost them about $30 million. Instead of doing that, they decided to go way out there and do a whole new facility that's over $350
Right.
million. And so this facility should have, if everything goes as planned, should have medical help and help for the mentally ill within. So that was one of the
that will bring the extra.
one of the main things. So as they were talking about bringing things up to par, and that was the big deal. A whole lot of inmates, they won the lawsuit. I don't know if you remember that, but they won the lawsuit because they were saying that they were treated unfair. And so they won that, and that was part of the unfair treatment.
So my question is, why don't you just take that part that's right across directly on the side of them and build on down that way?
Doesn't look good.
Doesn't. There's
Not
$1 million.
the
You mean
5,000 a
downtown?
month
Yeah, I'm just saying.
condos
I mean,
that they built right
I'm
there.
just saying, you make it look like some condos.
Yeah.
You can make a building look like anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can make it look like a condo.
And they need help now. They don't need help 2 or 3 years from now.
Correct.
And
Today.
it shouldn't be a brand new facility to get them that help because we're in real time and they need that help now.
And let me make this point clear. It's not we're saying that we don't need a new jail. We're not saying that. We're not
right.
against them building a new jail.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is the placement and the lack of consideration when you chose the placement of the new jail.
That's right.
You know, I mean, did they poll the residents? Did they
Nope.
ask the residents?
didn't ask
Was there
me.
any referendum that
They
said, you know, I'm just saying, there was no, they just decided to. So we're not against them building a new jail. I want to make that clear. We're against where they're trying to build the new jail.
That's right.
But when, go ahead. So when you're making a decision that's going to affect a certain community, and you don't even include that community or anybody who represents that community, doesn't that also just give off arrogance? Because you're saying we don't care what you think. We know that whatever you say isn't going to be loud. It's not going to matter because we're not going to hear you. So to me, I mean, it really makes these people who are supposed to be making decisions for us, not for us, for them,
Right.
about our communities, seem very arrogant.
And Jill, and that's what we've been feeling all along, and that's why I said the right to speak, but not to be heard, not the right to be heard.
Well-
and so that's basically what this is.
Well, it's just like there's not a lot of ownership on the south side of town.
Well, see, that's where I was going to go, because it's the misconception that we don't have ownership and taxpayers and upstanding citizens on the southeast side. And because of that, they can do or feel like they can do whatever they want.
Well, I
And
mean,
give us whatever they want.
yeah.
Scraps.
I mean, I understand. My mom's is a homeowner. She owns 2 properties. I got family. I know a lot of people that owns, but just think about all the houses they just built, where the people that can't own them. You know, like the Renaissance Point and all
Right.
those. You got to work so many, living in so long before you can do. At this point, they don't own that property, so they really have no say so.
Oh, yeah, they have a say-so.
They don't. Ownership means more than me renting a spot.
Your living conditions should be important enough to you to speak up.
Right.
Because
Right.
if you're in the frame of mind to grow and to build, not just for yourself, but for your family, you have a say-so. I don't care what the scraps they're dishing to you, you still need to speak up.
That's right.
The crumbs.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
exactly. Good point. So, we want you to know that there are things that you can do, whether you live on, the southeast part of town or not. I don't, but this concerns me. I care about this. What can you do? What can you do at home? What can you do in your community? So we're going to talk about that. Standing up, Clarence, and saying, we don't want this is not enough. So we have came up with something that we're going to ask you, our viewers, to do, and as well as share with us, share
Yeah.
with other people.
Yes, it was posted on our Facebook page, and we have several locations throughout the city. We do have a petition that you can sign either digitally, or you can go into one of our places that we have a paper petition to sign this. We need at least 5,000 signatures before it gets considered. So we need your help. If you don't want this, if you don't believe that this should happen, make your voice heard. And I appreciate that rally, but we can't just let that rally happen and not follow up and
Right.
do anything behind it.
Otherwise, it's just a rally.
Just making noise.
Yeah.
So to do the work is we have these petitions. We have them at every TGFM mobile location. There's one on McKinney. I'm sorry. There's one on McKinney and Anthony.
Anthony and McKinney.
There's one Lafayette, Pettit. There's one here on Calhoun, and then there's His House Men's Store, which is also on Anthony. And I believe Doc V, is there one at Optimistic Beauty and Barber Salon? So you can go in if you're not tech savvy and you want to go in and sign a physical petition. Please go in and sign a physical petition. But at the end of our program, and check our Facebook page, we do have it listed where you can digitally go sign this petition. And once we get this petition signed and we file it, when they have that hearing, we need all 5,000 names that's on that paper. We need to pull up. We need to be there in force. We can't just say that we're going to do and not show we're going to do.
Right.
When we say we're going to do it, we need to show up in numbers, in force, because they're not going to believe us until we show up on their doorstep.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. So sign the petition, share the petition, stop into any of the places, and let your voice be heard. So we want to thank you for being with us tonight. We're going to follow up with what happens. I mean, this is going to be something that is going to be probably ever changing, but maybe not in the best way in the near future until we can get everybody on board. We also want to ask that you join us tomorrow at 8:30 as we talk about the execution of the execution. We're going to be discussing the death penalty. So that'll be very heavy. So please join us tomorrow. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us.
Thank
you for having me.
Thanks.
Thank
And
you.
as we always say, Jill, always
Protect
your mind.
Absolutely.